Captain John Davis, a U.S. Air Force pilot, steadied his breathing as he gripped the controls of his F-15E Strike Eagle. Operation Desert Storm was underway, and his mission that night was clear: lead a precision strike on a heavily fortified Iraqi command post. The desert stretched endlessly below, cloaked in darkness. John's co-pilot, Lieutenant Ryan Carter, monitored the radar from the rear seat. "We're approaching the target zone," Ryan said, his voice steady but tense. As they neared, the calm night erupted. Anti-aircraft fire streaked into the sky, glowing trails of destruction aimed at their formation. John swerved to avoid a burst of flak, his training taking over as he called orders to the rest of his squadron. "Stay tight and watch for missile locks," John commanded over the radio. Suddenly, the radar lit up with an incoming threat. "Missile lock," Ryan warned. John reacted instantly, banking hard to the right and deploying countermeasures. The missile veered off course, but the threat wasn't over. Below, the command post came into view, a cluster of buildings heavily guarded by surface-to-air missile sites. "Target in sight," John said. He lined up the strike, his hands firm on the controls. "Bombs away." The precision-guided munitions hit their mark, a massive explosion ripping through the target zone. Secondary blasts lit up the desert as enemy munition stores ignited, leaving the command post in ruins. But before they could exhale, Ryan shouted, "Enemy jets inbound!" Two Iraqi MiGs were closing fast. John pulled his jet into a steep climb, pushing it to the edge of its limits. The dogfight that followed was a chaotic dance of speed and strategy, with missiles flying and evasive maneuvers pushing both man and machine to the brink. After a tense few minutes, John managed to outflank one of the MiGs, locking on and firing. The missile struck true, forcing the remaining jet to retreat. As they returned to base, the adrenaline began to wear off. John and Ryan exchanged a brief glance of relief, knowing they had completed their mission against incredible odds. Back on the ground, John learned that their strike had successfully crippled enemy operations in the area, paving the way for coalition forces to advance. He sat quietly by his aircraft, gazing at the desert horizon, knowing the battle was far from over. But for tonight, victory was theirs.